Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me? Please stand and join Carissa Nygaard in singing our national anthem. Please be seated. I came up to the stage a little early. My colleague, Dr. Van Buren, and I recently came back from China, and he asked me to go skateboarding with him when I was over there. That's just kidding, just kidding. Well, faculty, students, parents, and relatives, distinguished guests, and friends of the university, I am delighted to welcome you to the 167th Commencement of the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. This year is the 138th anniversary of the founding of the first normal school in the state of Wisconsin. That was the birth of what has become today the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. During these 138 years, over 42,000 students have received degrees from this outstanding institution. This afternoon, over 350 more degrees will be conferred. Commencement is a celebration of accomplishments, of success. It is a time for students, faculty, family, and friends to remember, to reflect, and to anticipate the future as these candidates accept their degrees, new roles as alumni of this institution, and begin a new phase of their lives. The graduating senior chosen to deliver the valedictory address today is Mr. Joe Rosinski. He is completing a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering with a minor in Business Administration and is graduating magna cum laude. Joe has effectively balanced academics, student involvement, and real-world work experiences as he has pursued and completed his degree. He has been active in engineering organizations and in the pep band and as a student ambassador. Also, he has been inducted into 5 honorary societies. Joe holds a U.S. patent for a device that he and a coworker designed during Joe's co-op work experience. Joe has accepted employment with Manitowoc Crane & Company following his completion of this month, and we wish Joe the very best. Mr. Joe Rosinski.
Thank you, Chancellor. Friends, family, faculty, and the graduating class of 2001. I am very honored to have been chosen to give this commencement address today. After I was selected, I talked to many people, and the one common theme I continued to hear was, keep it short and interesting, but most importantly, keep it short. Well, hopefully the next half hour doesn't seem too long to you, and if you happen to see the person next to you sleeping, especially the graduates out there, let them be, because it was probably a rough night last night. Well, we finally made it. This has been the goal for us for the past 4, 5, 6 years for some of us. It is sort of awkward when you're walking across campus on the first day of the semester, of your last semester, and you see somebody and they come up to you and say, "Haven't you graduated yet?" Now we don't have to worry about that anymore. We also aren't going to have to worry about trying to avoid that one professor that loads everyone down with impossible assignments because we either figured out how to get around them and take somebody else or struggle through the class. No more papers, 8 o'clock classes, midterms, lab reports, group projects, or late nights in our favorite study spot. Well, some people have a favorite spot anyway. All the things that we have disliked are done with. Congratulations, we've made it. It's going to be a new start now. Well, not to forget a few things though. We also don't have those mid-afternoon naps, sleeping in until 11 because our first class isn't until noon, being able to skip class because we just don't feel like going today, trips down to Dubuque instead of studying for that exam, or meeting up with a bunch of people down at the VU for some good food and a few good laughs, sitting and talking for hours and not getting a single page of that group paper written, or walking down the hall or across the street to visit a friend and just stop in and say hi. There are a lot of things that we'll be happy to leave behind, but there are also many others that we will miss. We're going to be starting new, finding or starting a new job, starting at a new school, living in a new city, and meeting many new people. This is a very fun and exciting time, but it also makes us stop and think about the years that we have spent here at Platteville, all the great times we've had, all the great friends that we have made. Our friends and family are very important to each of us. These are the people that are always there for us, care about us, and want to see us happy. These are the people that are here today, sharing this important day with us. Sometimes we take these people for granted. We don't tell them how much they actually mean to us. I'm going to tell you a little story, and I'm sure every single person here today has a similar story. I woke up one morning, just like any other morning, and started to get ready for class. I got a bowl of cereal and sat down in front of the TV and turned it on. Switched on to CNN to see what was going on in the world. This was the morning of September 11th. Before my eyes, I saw one of the Twin Towers go up in smoke. I had no idea what was happening at that moment. With the first image I saw, I wasn't even sure if it was real. As I listened to the commentator, I began to understand what had happened. After watching for only a few minutes, I saw the second plane crash into the South Tower. I called my dad to see if he was watching it also because I knew he was home. We both watched in amazement as the first building collapsed. Neither of us could believe what was happening nor understand why it was happening. I sat and watched the events as they unfolded that morning and almost missed my class. I thought about all the people that were in those buildings and those at the Pentagon and in Pennsylvania. I thought about their families and friends and how in an instant their lives were changed forever. I then began to think about my family and my friends and how lucky I am to have them and how my life would be changed if I lost any of them. Then, over a month ago, I woke up again one morning, but this time to my alarm clock radio. On the radio, there was a song playing that made me stop and listen. It was the song that Alan Jackson sang at the CMA Awards called "Where Were You?" The song starts out, "Where were you when the world stopped turning that September day?" He then sings about different people throughout the United States and the different reactions that they had. I found the chorus to be very powerful, however. He sings, "I talked to God, and I remember this from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us, and the greatest is love." Faith, hope, and love should be very important in each of our lives. Everyone strives to make it in the world, always setting goals and trying to reach those goals. In order to do that, however, we need to show faith, hope, and love for those people around us, those that support us, those that remind us that not everything can be bought and that some things must come from the heart. True happiness takes a different shape for every person, but I believe that true happiness cannot be achieved without faith, hope, and love in your friends and family. About 2 years ago, I reevaluated my life and what was important to me. Since that time, I've been living my life through one main theme: to be happy and keep smiling. It doesn't matter how terrible things may be going at any particular time, or how bad you did on that last exam, or that no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to find that right job. It doesn't matter that in a few short days, your life is going to be completely changed and unknown. You have to be happy and keep smiling because you still have the people around you, the people that will always be there for you and won't let you fail. Things don't always work out exactly as you would like to see them, but in the end, things always do work out. And oftentimes, when reflecting back, it is better that they didn't happen exactly the way you wanted them to. But no matter what does happen, your friends and family will always be there for you. So, at this time, I want all the graduates to stand. Now, I would like to have all the graduates of the class of December 2001 give their family and friends a huge round of applause for all that they have done for us throughout these years in school. You can all be seated. After commencement is over, I want everyone to thank your family and friends for all that they have done, especially those that were not able to be here today. I would personally like to thank my family and friends for all that they have done for me throughout my years in college and throughout my entire life. Without you, I would not be standing here today. Now, graduates, the future is in your hands. It is up to you to make your lives what you want them to be. There is nothing stopping anyone, and the possibilities are endless. So, I challenge each and every one of you to go out and set high goals for yourself, and then strive to achieve those goals. But always remember to be happy and keep smiling, and to not forget those people in your life that are important to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. It is now my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Regent Roger Axtell. On occasions like this, I think it is important to do some research. So when I learned that Roger's 94-year-old father lived in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, I decided to write him and ask for information about his son. Here's the reply I received. Dear Chancellor Marquis, you wrote asking for information about my son Roger. Here it is. How would you like to be an advisor to 3 governors, a speaker in demand throughout the country, and a tournament-ranked tennis player? Well, so would Roger. Instead, Roger worked 30 years for the Parker Pen Company until his retirement several years ago. His last job was vice president in charge of worldwide marketing. He lived and traveled abroad for Parker for 25 years. This prompted him to write 8 books about international business, travel, protocol, etiquette, and behavior around the world. 2 of his books are considered bestsellers and have been translated into 11 different languages. As a result, Roger has been a frequent guest on TV talk shows such as NBC's Today Show, Regis Philbin, Canadian and British National Television, and CNN. As his father continued in the letter, he has appeared on 6 separate occasions on ABC's Good Morning America show. He was also once booked on the David Letterman show, but was bumped at the last moment by a dancing dog act. He has indeed worked for governors of Wisconsin and served former Governor Tommy Thompson for 8 years as a special assistant for business. He did this for $1 a year, which makes me wonder about his business sense and explains why I have selected his older brother to handle my financial affairs. I hope he does a good job at your meeting. He needs the experience. The first time he appeared before a large audience was in the 4th grade when he portrayed Davy Crockett, and he wet his pants right on stage. Signed, Albert E. Axtell. Our speaker, Roger Axtell.
No more free pens to the old man. Well, as you can tell, he keeps my feet on the ground. When I was booked on the Today Show, I called him up. I said, "Dad, I'm booked on the Today Show." He said, "What the hell is that?" I said, "It's a national TV show. Look at it." And so, all right. So after I was on, I called him up, as you do, you know, call your parents. I said, "Dad, how'd I do?" He said, "Better than I expected." I said, "How'd I look?" He said, "You looked old." I was out there for his 90th birthday celebration, and I said, "Boy, 90 years, that's terrific, but this is a big year for my wife and me, too. This is our 33rd wedding anniversary year." He said, "I had 2 of those." Well, we commencement speakers never look forward to this because you ever remember one? So we're supposed to give advice. So I'll tell you right up front what my advice is going to be about. If you're interested in writing books, I'm going to give you a minute or 2 of advice on writing a book. And then since international is my theme, I'm going to give you a few ideas about living internationally. In fact, I'm going to teach you how to make rude gestures in 15 different countries without realizing that you're making them. That's the problem. Well, now first, as a writer, if you're interested, people say to me, "What is your greatest fear? Is it writer's block or is it rejection?" And my answer to that is no, neither one of those seem to bother me. But I will confess to you what my greatest fear is. It's rummage sales. I live in Janesville, and we have lots of these rummage sales, and you know what they're like. They get all the card tables out there in the driveway, and they get all this junk on the table that they're trying to get rid of. Well, I went to one in my neighborhood. Sure enough, there's one of my books. My newest book. Well, you know how they price things at a rummage sale. So I went over and I looked at it. 25 cents. Marked down to a dime. I said to the woman, I didn't tell her who I was, I said, "What's wrong with that book?" She said, "What do you mean what's wrong with it?" I said, "Well, it's marked down to a dime." "Oh," she said, "there's some writing in it." I'd autographed the book. The last piece of advice about writing. The title is the most important thing in the book. You've heard you can't tell a book by the cover. Well, I'm sorry. My editors have said there are certain things that grab you in a title and you got it. I said, "What are they?" "Oh," he said, "there are at least 4 or 5. I said, "What are they?" I wrote them down. Mystery, romance, sex, religion, and royalty. If you have any combination of those in your title, it's going to go well. So I've got the title for my next book. I haven't written it yet, but the title is, "My God, the Queen is Pregnant. I Wonder Who Done It." Well, now I want to talk about this world that you're going out into. You are really the first truly global generation. You'll be able to travel farther, faster, cheaper than any other generation. You're going to communicate with people all over the world, not by telephone, not by email. It's going to be virtual streaming, all the rest of it. You're going to have Palm Pilots that will have 3D images of the people that you're communicating with. So you have a big responsibility to learn to communicate well in this world, and that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about some of the impediments that you're going to be running into. That's the good news, that we're going to have all this new form of communication. The bad news is we Americans aren't very good at it because we have a thing called ethnocentrism. And ethnocentrism, the way I describe it, is we tend to think that the axis of the world goes right down through the United States and everything revolves around us. And the way we do things is the right way of doing it. And we don't get much practice, of course. We've got to go all the way to Mexico before we run into another culture. But we tend to think our market research, our engineering, our electronics, our biotechnology, we're the best. So the way we do it is the best. Now, I want to bring it up to a much more simple level, and that is our daily behavior, our actions, and the things we say and do. We don't think about it, but we are very ethnocentric. Now, let me see if I can prove this with a little demonstration. I want you, first of all, to applaud. Everybody applaud. You've probably never thought about it, but when you applaud, if you're right-handed, you pound the right hand down into the left, and if you're left, you do it the other way around. That's how you're comfortable applaud. That's the way to applaud. Now cross your hands like this. Notice which thumb is on top. Very likely every time you cross your hands, you put that thumb on top because that's the way you cross your hands. All right. Now cross your arms. There are actually 7 different ways to cross your arms. Look at your neighbor. They probably got it different than you. But for you, when you cross your arms, this is the way it's done. Now don't ask me what the heck this means. But what it says to me is we do things automatically without thinking about it. Now that's very simple. Now we're going to go to the next step. We go out into this world and we meet people. And Joe, I need some help here. When we go out to meet people, just go right here. What do? Joe? Roger, thank you. Okay. In those 5 seconds, Joe and, oh no, I need you back here. You don't run away. No, we're going to go through the whole routine here. Wait until you see when we're done here, I tell you. In those 5 seconds, Joe and I have done no less than 5 bits of very American, ethnocentric behavior without thinking about it. We just did it on, but they aren't necessarily universal. All right, help me out. What was the first thing we did? We shook hands, sure. That's the way you do it. If we'd been in Japan, we would have bowed to one another. We Americans say, bow? I ain't going to bow to anybody. I'm an American. But to the Japanese, this is a greeting that shows humility and respect. And I find nothing wrong with showing a little humility and respect. If we had been in Indonesia or India or Thailand, we wouldn't have bowed, we wouldn't have shaken hands. We would have done the namaste or the way. Very good. You know what they're saying when they do this? I am praying to the God in you. You try to beat that for a greeting, I'll tell you. There's a greeting. And in other parts of the world, they don't do any of those. Central Africa, they spit at each other's feet. Don't worry, Joe, I'm not going to do it. The Tibetans, they stick their tongue out at each other, blah, blah, like that. The Maori tribes in New Zealand, they rub noses. You can go on and on and on. But we shook hands. That's the way we've been taught. Now, when we shook hands, we did 2 other things that you all know. You do it automatically. You don't think about it. Your parents taught you just like mine. When you greet someone, direct eye contact, right? Look me in the eye. How many times have you heard your parents or someone say, look me in the eye when you talk to me? Well, many of you know that there are other cultures that's rude. You do not stare at people all over Asia. The Native American culture was taught with your elders, you never looked them in the eye. You averted your eye, but we look them right in the eye. The other thing we did is when we shook hands, again, your parents taught you just like mine, good firm handshake. You're darn right. You know, none of this business, you know, the dead fish, you know. But again, I'm sorry, there are parents in other parts of the world that are saying, no, if you're going to shake hands, you know, you give a gentle handshake. We say gentle, heck, this guy's a wimp, he doesn't know how to shake hands, it's a dead fish. So right away, we're going out in the world, we're saying, these people don't know how to behave. I've just met them. We only did 3 things, there are 2 more things. What was the second thing we did that's very American? First names. Joe, Roger. We're very informal, we like to jump to a first name, Joe, Roger, okay? If you're in Germany, Austria, Sweden, Switzerland, other parts of the world, you're shaking your head. No way. That's impolite to jump to the first name. What's the 5th thing? Has anybody got it yet? The space. Edward C. Hall, right? Territorial imperative, spatial territory. We Americans and Central Europeans, we've got about 18 inches. We've got bubbles of air around us. That's our territory. We don't want anybody to come into our territory. Now, if we'd been in Japan, we might have had bigger bubbles. But if Joe and I had been from Latin America or the Middle East, he would have come up much closer like this. They have much smaller bubbles. You go down there as an American, you'll see what they call a conversational tango. Sure, an American and a Latin. American will be standing here like this, and all of a sudden the Latin will say, well, he's too far away. The American will say, this guy's getting in my space. This guy will say, where's he going? This guy is saying, I don't like this. And they go all the way around the room that way. Sure. I first learned this I was in the Middle East. Come closer now. We're in the Middle East. All right. I'm walking down the street with my customer. This happened to be Saudi Arabia. Wonderful country, wonderful customers. I'm walking down the street. He's got his long robe on, and I'm from Janesville. And you know what he did? He did this. Has anybody got a camera? Now, I'm a pretty perceptive guy. I'm from Janesville. I said, oh, there's some cross-cultural communication going on here. But I don't know what the heck it is. And I started to do just what Joe and I are starting to do right now. I started to sweat like mad. This is the most god-awful thing to be doing with a guy with a robe on, walking down the street. Joe wants to go sit down very badly, I'll tell you. He's being a good sport, though, and I was so stunned, I hung on. Seriously, I found out later that if I had pulled away, I would have offended this man, because in his culture, he was paying me a compliment. This was a sign of friendship and respect, nothing more. And if I'd pulled away, I could have offended him, might have ruined the relationship. Business relationship is very important to me. But now the problem is when he comes to Janesville and we walk down the street. Now, I don't know why we should be so surprised at this. You know, the abrazo. In Italy, the abbraccio, right? You know, that's first time I was put in charge of our companies in Latin America. I went to Latin America the first time. I got off the airplane in Buenos Aires. There's the manager of my company standing there like this. I said, that man is going to hug me. And my life passed in front of me, you know, and I walked forward kind of stiffly. I forgot, you got to turn your head to one side or the other. We smashed noses right in the middle. All right, now, Joe, we're going to get even with them. You're going to have, all of you, your first lesson in cross-cultural communications, how to get along in this world. I'm going to ask you to take 5 seconds, stand up at your places, turn to the stranger next to you, just pretend like you're going to hug. Don't hold hands. This is the graduate course. Just stand up, take 5 seconds, pretend like you're going to hug. That's it. Everybody do it. Everybody. Sure. You're a good sport. Thank you. Just another minute. All right. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now you're really internationalists. I do this a lot at conventions around. I get mainly men, you know, and you'll see them out in the audience there. They'll laugh like you did in good nature. They'll stand up, but you'll always see two businessmen. They'll stand there and say, I'll do this for that dummy up there. But if this guy touches me, I'm going to smash him. The point of that is maybe you felt a little bit uncomfortable getting out of your ethnocentric zone. Well, believe me, that's going to happen a lot in your lifetime. It's going to happen, and that's one of the pieces of advice I hope I can give you. So if you felt a little bit uncomfortable, that's natural. But if you felt uncomfortable, imagine how Joe has been feeling all this time. Let's give him a hand. Thanks very much. Thank you. He did sweat, I'll tell you that. But he's going to make it in this world. Well, that's a little bit of body language. I want to give you a few more examples. I promised you I'd show you some rude gestures. I'll do them very quickly. What is it? Everybody knows what this means. It's 98% recognition in the United States. It's okay. But in Japan, it means money, coins. You could be doing business with a Japanese and say, let's sign the contract. And he says he's making the sign for money. Does he want me to sign a bribe underneath the table? South of France, it means zero, worthless. I took a hotel in south of France. The concierge said, Monsieur, how's your room? I went like this. Richard Nixon, when he was vice president in the 50s, oh, Brazil, you don't do this in Brazil. You know this. Oh, this is a terribly rude gesture in Brazil. So just don't do it. Richard Nixon, when he was vice president in the 50s, he got off the airplane in Sao Paulo. He not only did one of them, he did two of them. All right, now, you flashed me a gesture right back there. You flashed me this one, right? You know this one. V for victory, right? Originated in England, can give you the whole story, Battle of Agincourt and so on. If you go to England, this is fine. I think of Winston Churchill, very heroic gesture. It means peace, whatever. But if you go to England, for goodness sakes, don't do it this way. This in England means the same as this in Brazil. How about this one? Now, how could you go wrong with this? We see the presidents doing it, the astronauts doing it, you know, thumbs up. If you're in Australia, Nigeria, a couple of other places, don't do this. It's the same as this in England and this in Brazil. How about this one? Who knows what this means? Hook 'em horns. Yeah, a lot of Texans here. Sure, hook 'em horns, sure. But in baseball, it means two. In football, 2 outs. Football, it means second down. All these different signals. In Malta, it means warding off a curse. You know what it means in Italy? Your spouse is having an affair behind your back. All these different signals. You call a waiter. We go like this. You don't do that in some countries. We go like this. No, you don't point in Japan. You wanted a waiter in Europe. You don't go like this. That means no. You want a waiter, you go like this. See? You know what you do when you call a waiter in Mexico? You go. Sure, you want a waiter in Mexico. You go. You try that at a truck stop out here on the edge of town. Well, I happened across an article that I just want to refer to you in closing. What does all this mean? First of all, my message is that as you travel around the world, you are going to run into all these differences, but they are just at the surface of a culture, and it's these quirks, idiosyncrasies that we run in, and we have them in America, we have them in spades. The beautiful thing is once you cut beneath that, you make a beautiful discovery about people around the world, and that is that we are more alike than we are unalike. Now, I happened to read an article, maybe you saw it. You know Mitch Albom, the fellow that wrote Tuesday Mornings with Maury, 130 weeks on the bestseller list, TV movie with Jack Lemmon. He's talking about the wars, and he said he wonders what Maury would say about the wars. And he did talk with Maury. Now, this was a writer whose coach was terminally ill, and every Tuesday morning he would spend mornings with him, and Maury would pass along philosophies. Beautiful, beautiful. And he asked Maury, he said, what about all these wars in Bosnia and Somalia? And Maury's answer was, we are more alike than different. And I hope that as you go out into the world, that's something that you have learned or will learn and you will practice. But more importantly, the author went on and said, but Maury, what do we do about this? What can we do about it? And Maury's answer was, keep teaching. That refers to all of these wonderful people in the front here who have worked and worked and worked to teach you and will continue to teach you. So I say to you, as you go out, remember we're more alike than we're different, and remember to help them and you and the rest of the world teach one another that. The last thought I want to give you is people say to me, boy, you tell me all these things I can't do when I travel around the world, all these gestures. I shouldn't give a speech with my hand in my pocket if I'm in France. I shouldn't show the sole of my shoe towards anybody because that's an insult. In Thailand, I shouldn't pat someone on the top of the head. What can I do? Tell me something that's safe. Here's the answer. There is one form of human communication that is known all over the world, never misunderstood. It's the smile. Darn it, isn't that nice? If there's going to be one, it's the smile. I hope you do a lot of it in your travels, and I hope we've done a little bit of it today. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Roger. And I know your dad will be proud of you. Each year, our faculty and the Alumni Association recognize alumni who have brought honor to this university. Since our alumni include winners of the Nobel and Pulitzer Prizes, members of the U.S. Congress, Wisconsin legislature, and presidents of major corporations, the choices are never easy. Today we honor 3 of our outstanding recent alumni as models for this graduating class and in recognition of their achievements and contributions. I will introduce today's honorees. Each will stand as I do so, and I will ask that you hold your applause until all 3 have been introduced. Biographies of the honorees are in your commencement program. Dr. Grunow is a family practice physician in Mineral Point, Wisconsin. He also serves as Chief of Staff and Emergency Room Director at Upland Hills Hospital in Dodgeville. Dr. Grunow serves as advisor to several area emergency medical service providers. He is an active volunteer with UW-Platteville, serving as a preceptor for students involved in pre-med studies. Dr. Gary Grunow. And Dr. Mee is a professor of animal science in the School of Agriculture at UW-Platteville. He is coach to our award-winning dairy judging teams and advisor to the Dairy Club and to Alpha Gamma Rho fraternity. Mike's dedication to excellence in education and to his students has been recognized with numerous awards. He is a 3-time recipient of the Outstanding Faculty Member in Agricultural Award and was the initial recipient of the College of BILSA Outstanding Advisor Award. Mike. Mr. Todd Pulowski, class of 1986. Mr. Pulowski is Vice President for Customer Services North America for Virgin Atlantic Airlines, a British-owned company. His goal is to create an environment where staff can and do consistently deliver the highest level of customer service in the industry. Todd has been employed in the airline industry since his graduation from UWP. He believes that success is realized through working with people. Todd, our congratulations and appreciations to each of these award winnees. Please congratulate them. Dr. James Lawton, President of the UW-Platteville Alumni Association, will now announce the awards of Alumni Life Membership. Dr. Lawton.
Since we're not in Brazil, good job. Chancellor Marquis, Provost, University Deans, faculty, staff, families, and guests. It is a bit personally sobering for me to stand before you this afternoon at the 167th Commencement because I graduated at the 101st. I mean, 66 other classes have graduated since. On behalf of the University of Wisconsin-Platteville Alumni Association, it is indeed my pleasure and my honor to congratulate you graduates and your families on your graduation today. With this ceremony, this university is in its 136th year of existence as an institution of higher learning, and you have now become part of its history and its traditions. One of its great traditions is our faculty, and we of the Alumni Association once again wish to thank the dedicated faculty for their integrity and devotion in educating the young women and men of America and those from foreign shores, like those of us from Illinois. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of our faculty. To the graduates, it is our hope and desire that you will continue your involvement with this university by becoming members of the Alumni Association. I know that many of you have already joined our association, and we would like to see you all as active alumni. We hope that you will participate in the many activities that we sponsor and that you will return to campus often. We also ask that you show your pride in the degree that you received today. At each commencement, the Alumni Association recognizes graduates for their outstanding academic, personal, campus, and professional achievements by awarding them honorary life membership in the association. This winter, we have selected 3 individuals as recipients. I ask these recipients to please stand when I announce their name, and please hold your applause until they are all standing. Andrea Hanschel from Platteville with a major in civil and environmental engineering. Good. Craig Conrad, Clintonville, with a major in Industrial Technology Management. Joe Rosinski, I won't shake your hands, Joe. Bancroft, Mechanical Engineering. Congratulations. In closing, be Platteville proud. Thank and remember your dedicated families and faculty who have helped you reach this goal in your lives. Whether you realize it or not at this very moment, we all have a bond. I'm going to tell you a very brief story. This fall in November, I went down to South Bend with a friend of mine to the University of Notre Dame and the University of Tennessee football game. I had a Platteville alumni shirt on. And while standing in line on campus with about 90,000 people running around the campus, and it's a small campus, a young woman came up to me very quickly, very nicely, because she was now a graduate student in civil engineering at the University of Notre Dame. And she was proud of the fact that she, in the middle of that campus, saw somebody from Platteville. And it was a wonderful experience. Anyway, congratulations to the graduates and their families, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Dr. Lawton. When James R. Underkoffler retired as President, CEO, and Chairman of the Board of Wisconsin Power and Light, the company presented a $250,000 endowment to the University of Wisconsin system to fund awards to recognize excellence in undergraduate teaching by faculty members at institutions in the WP&L, now Alliant Energy service area. This year, 2 UWP faculty members were honored with these prestigious awards. Brief descriptions of their teaching service are included in your program, and I'd like for us to acknowledge their accomplishments now. Dr. Robert Demery, who is in China today with his wife adopting a baby daughter, and Dr. Richard Waugh are our recipients. Rich, would you please stand and accept our congratulations on receiving this tremendous honor? Thank you, Rich. You're up.
We're extremely proud of all of our graduates and will shortly recognize each of them. However, I would like to give special recognition to a group who have distinguished themselves throughout their academic careers. The undergraduate students graduating with academic honors are designated with asterisks in the commencement program and are wearing gold honor stoles. With those individuals who have achieved the highest honors and are graduating summa cum laude, please rise and remain standing. These students have earned cumulative grade point averages between 3.75 and a perfect 4.0. Now with those students who have achieved honors and are graduating magna cum laude, please rise and remain standing. These students have earned cumulative grade point averages between 3.5 and 3.74. Please join me in recognizing the accomplishments of this very special group. Now would all of the individuals who are about to receive bachelor's and master's degrees please stand. Mr. Chancellor, as Provost, I certify that the candidates standing before you have completed the curricula prescribed by the university faculty for the degrees of Master of Science, Master of Science in Education, Bachelor of Arts, or Bachelor of Science, and are entitled to receive their degrees from the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. I therefore recommend that these candidates be granted the appropriate diplomas for the curricula completed.
Upon this certification by the Provost that you have completed the requirements established by the university faculty for the various degrees, and with the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University of Wisconsin System, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree which you have earned, together with all the rights and privileges attending thereto. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Will the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science from the College of Business, Industry, Life Science, and Agriculture please stand? Mr. Chancellor, as Dean of the College of Business, Industry, Life Science, and Agriculture, and representing the college faculty, I present to you the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science from the College of Business, Industry, Life Science, and Agriculture. Will the recipients please come forward?
Eric Matthew Jelland. Tina Sue Ackman. Kari Anna Anderson. Shannon Michael Baldock. Jeffrey Todd Birkin. Lucas Andrew Bittner. Susan Jane Bolin. Joshua Reynold Bunley. Sean W. Chartier. Angie Lynn Clark. David Matthew Cochenet. Kimberly V. Dannenberg. Luke Aaron Drager. Jason John Dremza. John Christopher Demler III. Jamie Lynn Eccles. Andrew Don Edgerton. Michael Andrew Engen. Scott M. Esser. Anthony J. Etacudo. Carrie J. Feldkamp. Trevor Adam Fleege. Brian Jeffrey Frayne. Brian David Fulton. Ryan L. Galbraith. William L. Gertz. Jeffrey Thomas Gorius. Janet Lynn Grady. Robert Bruce Graham II. Jason Lloyd Grams. Timothy C. Hahn. Georgette Elaine Hamilton. Robert John Harms. Jennifer Jean Hemingway. Eric Lawrence Herkimer. Hugh Burt Herman. Anthony John Hersfeld. Andrew Evan Hooks. Shelley Jean Jewell. Ross Thomas Kaufman. Kelly Jo Keene. Carrie Noel Kirsch. Michael James Kirsch. Gina Marie Kerpirik. Craig Donald Conrad. Nicole Marie Kubasek. Brandy J. Kurth. Reed Edward Kust. Wesley Howard Larson. Chad William Lusink. Craig Mason Lockman. Michael Gerard Lyons. Dana Marie Montio. Jody Lynn Martin. Crystal Marie Mayring. Jody Ann Mersinski. Brian John Metke. Christopher A. Metke. Douglas James Miauhi. Aaron Elna Mullen. Sarah Beth Nabafelt. Dawn Marie Navas. Shane B. Nakadomu. Lisa M. Newman. Aaron L. Palmer. Troy Richard Peterson. Jacqueline Mary Pecora. Arthur Leo Pranchinski. Kelly Ann Radigan. Heidi Elizabeth Reinbold. Jill Catherine Richardson. Ryan C. Reimenschneider. John Thomas Raleigh. Victor Roida. Jessica Ray Ruskowski. Melissa K. Sheberl. Eric James Schlegelmilch. Brett Matthew Schmitz. Rhonda Von Schnell. Daniel J. Schonoff. Katie Marie Selly. Jason Edward Steiner. Ryan Andrew Steinke. Scott Marvin Strausser. Lynn Marie Tank. Joseph Charles Tennis. Ryan John Ubersox. Erica Sue Vavrika. Benjamin Allen Wagee. Elizabeth Ann Wonke. Anthony J. Watts. Holly Nicole Wells. Alexander B. White. Brad Richard Weigel. Andrew Carl Wilkie. Daisha Rebecca Willis Pick. Sarah Lynn Wilson. Seth Todd Wilson. Tom Edward Zulke.
On behalf of the faculty and staff of the College of Business, Industry, Life Science, and Agriculture, congratulations. Best wishes. You may be seated.
Will the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Science from the College of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science please stand? Mr. Chancellor, as Dean of the College of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science and representing the college faculty, I present to you the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Science from the College of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science. Will the recipients please come forward?
Joseph Richard Rosinski. Kurt Anton Heckendorf. Jason Michael Anibus. Jeffrey Allen Anderson. Jennifer Mary Anthony. Brett Garrett Bouts. David Joseph Beach. Samantha Dane Belka. Nathan Arthur Berry. Gregory John Bolt. Jesse C. Boyarski. Kate Elizabeth Bretzel. Joseph Bradley Brill. Stephen James Bruce. Kristen Dawn Cadman. Mark William Seeby. Michael James Kristen. Randall James Clark. Keith A. Custer. Alexander Edmund Damian. Ryan Mitchell Dam. Scott William Davis. Mark John Delvaux. Luke Thomas Depies. Brandon George Diddens. Patrick Andrew Eckelberg. Julia Ann Einwalter. Lori Lynn Glenzer. Clayton Thomas Groh. Jeremy M. Hall. Craig James Haas. Terry Merlin Heitkamp. Jeffrey Robert Heller. Garrett Robert Herning. Andrea Lee Honschel. J. Kenneth Hotaker. Brandon John Johnson. Aaron Michael Carroll. Chad Michael Kirchner. William Stephen Kanak, Jr. Andrew Allen Kanabi. Robbie Francis Krejci. Bradley Thomas Kutz. Brandon John Lamers. David James Layton. Stephen Thomas Letko. Jody Marie Lewis. Matthew Scott Lewis. Nathan Gregory Lindner. Eric Jonathan Lockman. Nathaniel James Lockwood. Andrew Joseph Marinelli. Joseba Moriri Odriozola. Jonathan Grant McClelland. Casey Patrick McIntosh. Ryan James McMullen. Thomas J. Mergen. Kyle John Walter Merrill. Kevin L. Meyer. Timothy Tyler McConowitz. Eric Theodore Monson. Bradley Joseph Moots. Ryan M. Nash. Todd Braden Nikleski. Nicholas Robert Norden. John Lewis Norquist. Kyle Stephen Knott. Riley Patrick O'Brien. Brian Lee Olson. Kelly Jean Opie. Carl William Osterberg. David John Osterkamp. Brian Richard Rasmussen. Jason Matthew Sanderfoot. Lauren Nicole Sawdy. Gregory Oscar Schneider. Melissa M. Schroeder. Jason James Sell. Michael Todd Segersma. Jessica Renee Smith. Britt Berner Salverson. Tiffany Ann Sparhawk. Ryan Lee Stringfeld. Corey Lee Thompson. Richard Arthur Torkey, Jr. Michael Richard Trezeis. Chad Michael Trickner. Greg Jason Van Buren. Zan Vang. Ryan Curtis Vickerman. Michael D. Vida. Paul Alexander Wanchek. Corey Werner Wise. Ryan S. Welch. Barton S. Wolf. Jeffrey K. Zaitoff.
Congratulations and best of luck to the new graduates. Please be seated.
Will the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science from the College of Liberal Arts and Education please stand? Mr. Chancellor, as Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Education and representing the college faculty, I present to you the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science from the College of Liberal Arts and Education. Will the recipients please come forward?
Christina Jane Taylor. Ann Ruth Temple. Javon Diana El-Yasseri. Michelle Marie Beckwer. Victoria Lynn Beers. Christine L. Benke. Kurt Dennis Bruner. Cambra Joe Clary. Hillary Ann Conley. Brandy Jean Wonderland Davis. Lynette Vida Dietrich. Kevin Edwin Digman. Mary Elizabeth Dorflinger. Corina Lynn Downey. Timothy Michael Duffy. Bridget Lynn Glazer. James Michael Gottfried. Eric James Graybo. Michael Jerome Haling. William John Hinkle. Brian Anthony Hoffmeister. Mandy Jo Hubbard. Melissa Lynn Hughes. Jason Doran Cartman. Michael Marie Katsky. Curtis Douglas Kephart. Bridget Ann Kinder. Rebecca Jean Kitto. Dennis James Klubertans. Harvey Miller Knutson. Eric Joseph Kopp. Jason William Kuckelmeister. Andrew S. Cunninger. Daniel David Lombrecht. Carolyn Ann Laufenberg. Tanya Ann Lehman. Joseph Lewandowski. Laura Teresa Magnus. Brent Charles Massengill. Sarah Marie McCabe. Jamie Lynn McCauley. Tom Gregory Moss. Jennifer Lind Newman. Tanya Marie Orth. Mandy Jo Payne. Deborah K. Fobb. Jason Dean Piddington. Misty Dawn Preston. John Joseph Schimming. Diane M. Schlinning. Thomas Chance Schmid. Carrie Elizabeth Schosow. Thomas Norbert Schrader. Quinn Manning Schultz. Reagan Mackenzie Self. Matthew Wayne Sides. Rachel Judith Sigersma. Kathy Jo Swigert. Connie Sue Taylor. Mary Evelyn Weed. Natisha Ellen Witzik. Jennifer Lynn Wolf. Ryan James Zellner.
On behalf of the college faculty and staff, I congratulate you and extend to you our best wishes. Please be seated.
Will the recipients of the master's degrees please stand? Mr. Chancellor, as Dean of the School of Graduate Studies and representing the graduate faculty, I present to you the recipients of the degrees of Master of Science or Master of Science in Education from the School of Graduate Studies. Will the recipients please come forward?
Linda M. Bangert. Judith L. Bennett. Laura Lee Boxleiter Hamill. Jan Fen Ho. Carl J. Leader. Jadira M. Lopez. Ranelle E. Nelson. Pamela J. Neagle. Rita Raisbeck. Brenda J. Redfern. Karen R. Smith. Alicia K. Teeley. Ligia Wong. Tu Ji Seong.
On behalf of the graduate faculty, congratulations. Please be seated.
This ceremony would have not have been possible without the time and effort so generously given by a number of groups and individuals. The members of the commencement committee are listed in your program. Ken E. Buttry, a distinguished member of our faculty, is commencement marshal. The names of the graduates were read by Ed Deneen, the registrar. The university student ambassadors distributed programs and organized seatings for audience members. Lead singer, Miss Nygaard, and the symphony band deserve our appreciation for the music accompanying today's ceremony. Will the committee members, Mr. Deneen, Dr. Buttry, Ms. Nygaard, and the members of the band please stand and all be recognized by us. Although this was done once earlier, I still want to do it again. As we say farewell to our graduates, I want to give them the opportunity to recognize those who have guided them through their college life with gentle prodding, friendly assistance, the faculty and staff of the university. Would the graduates recognize our faculty and staff? I'm very pleased to be just a member of this group myself, so thank you for that applause. As each of our students know, others have provided not only encouragement, moral support, and financial assistance, but care and love as well. Will the parents, the grandparents, husbands, wives, children, and grandchildren of the graduates please stand and be recognized? Everyone, please. Thank you for your support of your sons and daughters and graduates, but also of this university. Would everyone please turn to page 26 of your commencement program? And everyone stand and join Ms. Nygaard in singing our alma mater.
Loyal are we to
Please be seated. The commencement ceremony has been videotaped and will be televised tonight at 7 p.m. on Campus TV 5. I would ask that everyone remain seated until the faculty have left the gymnasium. The graduates will remain to greet their parents, relatives, and friends in the gymnasium. Thank you all for being here.